Hello students, welcome to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. We are going to discuss today about cost and revenue analysis. In the last class, we have seen how the concept of cost and different types of major costs. So now we are trying to understand short run and long run costs. What is this short run we are talking about? In general, the short run is where less than 1 year time, a long run which can be more than 1 year. However, there are a lot of disagreements, lot of discussions, what comes under short run, what comes under the long run, the time period, time margin also. But the standard is, if it is the medium term, then 1 to 5 years and above 5 years is the long run. But if you have to say short run and long term, less than 1 year and more than 1 year is a long term. Now, in the cost curves, what is that short run which we are talking about? Here we all know that in the production process, when you want to produce, certain factors are fixed. That some factors are fixed, others some variables are variable. So here, what are the fixed costs in general? For instance, we can say the capital, that is the finance which we talk about, plant, buildings, permanent staff. Permanent staff means the salaries of those staff. Since it is a regular employees, you have to, whether you produce or not, you have to make certain payments for that. Variable factors generally, which is also known as the working capital, which is the labor, raw material. So here the output increased only through variable factors, because whenever, if in the short run, if the demand is increased, so automatically the short run they can increase a variable factors only, not the fixed costs, because the time origin it is less. For instance, if you are running in a hotel, if due to some certain exams or certain trips to the college, some students are visiting, so the college canteen, the visitors will be more, the demand will be high. So at that time, what the canteen owner will do is, they will change the variables. They may hire more, little 1 or 2 variable labor, or they will ask existing labor to work more number of hours to meet the demand factors. But they cannot change the size of the canteen or this the place where they are sitting. All this is not possible, right? So that's a short run period. Long run, all factors are variable. Remember, in the short run only we are making certain variables as a fixed and certain variables are the variables which varies with the time. But in the long run, all factors are variable. Why? Because that entire production can be changed, right? In the long run, if the demand is consistent, then we can expand it. We can expand the size of the hotel. We can hire more number of laborers or the skilled workers to meet the demand, the scale of which can be increased. Okay. So here the firm can alter the equipment scale, plant size. That's where we just talked about. So where it can be entirely manageable. And sometimes if required, any new machineries also can be installed. New plant, like suppose the existing plant is small and you wanted to have a bigger size of plant because the demand is increased, where we can construct in the long run. So that's all we call it as this. So output is increased by changing all inputs. It is not only the variables which can be changed, it can be changed all kinds of your factors of production. So that is where long run costs are also called planning costs or ex ante costs, right? So the long run costs also known as planning costs or ex ante costs. Now, in the short run cost table, let's try to understand how are we measuring. If you see on the top of the table, you will find the simple equations how you can find the total costs. That is, total cost is equal to total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Short-term average total cost equals to short-term average fixed cost, that is SAFC, and plus SAVC, short-term average variable cost. SATC is the short-term average total cost. SMC, short-term marginal cost. How you can find? Delta TC, that is a change total cost by total quantity. So now you can find out in the graphical, in the table format, which you need to remember. Total fixed cost means what? Without changing whether you use, whether you produce or not, the total fixed cost will be remain same. Suppose if it is a building, if it is a machinery, this whether you produce or not, it remains. You use more number of this, I mean if you increase the production, then you can call it as a, it can increase the total fixed cost can be reduced. How? When your total output increases, per unit cost as the total fixed cost, it will come down. That is where your TFC will be there. So here, and for the sake of an example, you can see Q, that is a quantity 0, 1 to 6, and TFC is constant 60, and total variable cost is also given to you, right? So that is 30, 40 and 45, 55, 75 to 120. So here you need to calculate the total cost now. That is 60 is equal to 60, 60 plus 30 90, 60 plus 40 100. We are focusing on TC, that is the total cost. So your quantity has been given, total fixed cost has been given, total variable cost also will be given to you. Rest of them you have to calculate. So in that way, 60, 45, 105, 60, 55, 115, 60 plus 75, 135, 60 plus 120 is 180. What is the average fixed cost? Right? So your AFC is a 60. The first unit we are making 60, 60 is 0. Second unit is a 60. Third unit difference you can see 30. Right? So the 20, 15, 12, 10. So this is the average fixed cost. Average variable cost also you can similarly find out with the 30, 20, 15 which is given. So the total average total cost that you can see 60 plus 30, 90, 30 plus 20 is equal to 50. So basically which will gives you. Now what is that marginal cost? You are trying to find out your marginal cost variations, that is from 60 to 30. Total cost, if you see the difference between 0 output to 1 unit, there is 30, then 90 to 100, the difference is 10, 105 is equal to 5. So the marginal cost is also 0. So the key insights you can see is TFC stays constant, TVC rises, and SFEC falls, SAVC, SATC, SMC are U-shaped curves. So in this particular table we learned that how do we derive the various cost functions in the table. Students, please refer the textbook and look at how we calculate the TFC, TVC, TC, all these factors which you are expected to understand how to examine or calculate these costs. Thank you.